Chris Durkin and Morales kind of worked. I think the problem's not Leuven, right? Because he's a world-class talent. He's one of the best players we have on the field. But the problem is that they can't figure out a system and a formation and personnel that allows him to do the things he needs to do and us not just get crushed in transition.
Durkin wants to play box-to-box. He wants to run everywhere.
Yeah, he's just going to chase the ball.
Right.
And Morales will sit.
Right.
Morales is smart. He's old. He'll sit in the hole. He'll keep the shape. So that's fine. So that worked. Neither one of them can progress a ball to save their damn lives. So you just have to hope that we chase it down and get a turnover, which most of the goals were created right off turnovers from Austin. And Hartel being really good at soccer. He had 0.47 XG and 2 goals in the first half. Mm-hmm. They were screamers. I mean, the second one was just silly.
Joyner almost had his first?
Joyner almost had his first. Should have, yeah. That's a sitter, bud.
Yeah. But it's the same point, though. It's like also none of this matters.
Right. It did matter for Austin, though.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. But maybe it does now that they're talking about Hackworth being in the mix for sporting director, which would just be like an easy... That'd be the cleanest transition, right? You install the...
Well, Critch might keep his job.
Critch might keep his job.
If he goes 4-0-1 in the last 5, or 4-1-0 in the last 5...
I don't think that's a good idea. You just got rid of the guy that said that that put all these people in place. Clean house. Yeah. If you want a new sporting director, get a new sporting director. Figure that shit out. I mean, if it was Hackworth, then you had many opportunities to install him and promote him, and that's what they should have done. They didn't do that. They didn't believe in him then. I guess they don't believe him. I don't know. I just don't think that's the... If you're signing us up for another 3 years of this, get the fuck out, right? Yeah. Like... So that's, I mean, if it's Hackworth, it better be a surefire. I mean, you better make the playoffs next year. I don't know what else to say.
I think you still have to churn 2/3 of this roster.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea what their intention is financially. That's the problem.
We beat a playoff team. We beat 2 playoff teams in the last 3 wins. San Jose
is on the cusp. Real Salt Lake will be on the cusp. I mean, this is they're quality teams we're playing here out the stretch.
But when you play at LAFC, you recognize that that's the type of talent you need to win the league.
Yes,
and we're not close to there. We're close enough to like be competitive with middle tier playoff teams. Cool, but like ultimately, you want a fan base to believe that we're building towards a championship at some point, or at least be in the shot where like I don't want to be the 6th place team every year.
Well, I think you need to temper your expectations because I can't remember what the transfer fee for Son was with $20 million. I mean, he set the record for the MLS transfer fee.
Right.
He's the second best player in the MLS right now, I guess. Maybe first. I don't know. He's like, we're not going to see him. First of all, I don't know how you even get a player like that to St. Louis. I'm not even sure how. I guess I see the allure of LA, not the MLS.
Jeffco 6s?
Jeffco 6s.
Take him to Jefferson County. We'll show him around. You know?
You ever been to Ronda's down there?
Have you ever had a country fried steak?
Gooey butter cake. Show me gooey butter cake. I don't know, man. I don't see us getting that, and that's what I hope. But like Lutz's whole thing of like, no, we're a team. We're not like going to rely on individual talent. We want to be a collective unit. We're going to have like a bunch of above average players and play as a whole, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's because you can't get, who are you getting? Roman Berkey's a big pull. That's a big land in St. Louis. So I guess my point is you're not LA and you're not going to be LA. And until you have like sustained results and success like Atlanta is doing, where you sell players for huge profits and keep doing that, big players aren't coming here right now.
But what does LA have that St. Louis doesn't have? Honestly. Right? Like, it's about the same.
They don't have 4 seasons, to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know? Where are you going to get a pumpkin spice latte out there?
Yeah, you don't want a pumpkin spice latte in LA.
No. When it's 80 degrees and sunny? What are we talking about?
Gross.
Gross. Right. So, what does LA have? Nothing. too much sunshine, maybe. Here's the because I don't watch the games, but I can kind of understand from a higher a larger picture, or at least I can ask questions that come from a larger picture. So there's a couple things in this conversation that I'm curious about. The first one is and this is such like an easy like boilerplate thing. Like I'm sure it's already been talked about, but like that first year of success may have actually been a bad thing because it set expectations too high for what this really is going to look like in general. But then also there's an interesting parallel with the way that basically all the major market teams, or not market teams, but all the major leagues in St. Louis have had to operate, which is neither the Blues nor the Cardinals operate in that upper tier of free agent class. Mm-hmm. And what they've had to do when they had success is build it from the inside. And, the Cardinals have had some success with trading for players and getting them to stick around. But what they're looking at now is more of that sort of, we got to build from the ground up, and that's the way that City is going to be a perennial playoff team. That's how it's going to be, is they're going to have to build internally.
Yeah, sure, but I don't think it's that straight of a shot because I just don't think the talent level from MLS Next Pro to ML. I just think it's a bigger jump than Kai Joyner scored 18 goals, something stupid in Next Pro this year, and he's not getting. But he doesn't look like a difference maker on the field, and he's 18 years old.
You cannot completely build a soccer team internally because that kind of talent just doesn't. You're not going to be able to continuously.
There's another step in between there.
So maybe you're going to have to, like you said with Atlanta, and I don't know Atlanta's model, but it sounds like you're going to have to be good at uncovering those gems who are maybe underappreciated by the market, and then having them grow into something that's worth selling.
Yes, or drafting or developing young talent and then selling it. And maybe those people, so that's kind of where baseball and all the other North American sports kind of peel off from soccer, like those prospects, if that's what you want to call them. Like you do, like those do turn in. I think they're more closely held in those other leagues than they are in soccer, because that those, like, it's all valuations, because you're literally just selling rights to players than Kai's valuation is. But if internally the word was like they saw enough this year to go like, he's not a $2 million player, he's never going to be an 18 goal scorer in the MLS, but we can get 1.5 for him today, they'll transfer, they'll sell him, and that you do that enough, it turns into good business. So Atlanta sold Miguel Almiron to my boys Newcastle, and he was a huge flop in Europe. He was just not good, but I think it was a $20 million transfer fee at the time. So they don't get straight $20 million. The MLS has weird rules, but they get so much money of that to then turn back into more players, right? You buy more young players for cheap. So the prime example, the world example, is Tottenham, who sold Gareth Bale for 200-ish pounds, took that money and bought 7 players, and then had a new team the next year for one.
Yeah. So it's if you're trying to draw equivalents, maybe the way the international free agency it goes in baseball is kind of like that, because you're going, these kids are 16 or whatever, you're signing a bunch of them, you're just throwing darts.
Yeah. But
you're paying them basically nothing, and one of them, even if just one pops off and becomes Oscar Taveras, then you're golden.
Well, and a lot of it goes back to your training and development too. Like the other, like, I'm gonna go back to these English teams, but they've been around forever. So Southampton is just notorious for pumping out talent. I don't think obviously their scouting is better, but they're also doing a lot with these kids once they get them into their youth academy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so it is like, even if City misses on some of these guys, if you're taking a 2-star to a 3-star, you're still turning a profit every time you sell these players. Right? So like, if you can do that consistently, then you will be bringing more money in. It's more revenue stream into your club, and you get better players. And as long as your scouting's on point, you spend more money, you get better players. Like that's how you chip up. Mm. But that takes a while, right? Like that's not an overnight thing. The good thing about the MLS is you can kind of turn your team around in the league but it costs money. Like San Jose did it this year. They went out and they bought Joseph Martinez. They bought Chicho, the guy that kills us. They spent all this money on strikers. They score a ton of goals. They gave up a bunch of goals, but they're right there. Like they were wooden spoon last year by a lot. They're maybe make the playoffs this year, to be determined. But I mean, dropping points against us didn't help. But you can do it. Colorado did it the year before that. Went out and bought basically like a whole new starting team. But they spent a bunch of money. And the problem is we already spent that money. Like we spent that money at the end of last year. We bought all these new shiny toys. And the way the valuations work, we're taking a haircut on Seti Toyshirt. Whatever happens with him, I don't know if we sell him or if he walks. And we have a bunch of players who are on option contracts that I assume we're not going to pick up.
So that's the next question is you were talking about it's nice to be winning these games, but who knows who's going to even be around. That's where it does diverge. Another area in which it diverges, I think, from like the way the Cardinals just closed is like the conversation over the last couple months of the Cardinals season was, okay, well, let's find out whether Jordan Walker's a guy, and let's find out whether Nolan Gorman's a guy we can rely on next year. With these guys, is any of this even like, does it even play? Because you're winning games, these players are playing well, but do we even know who's going to be?
Yeah,
who you're even going to have a decision on?
There's Alfredo Morales starts last night, played the whole game, maybe almost the whole game, if not the whole game, which was crazy. Him and Durkin were both still around in like the 85th minute, which was also kind of nuts. But Alfredo Morales I see this happen last night. He's in the starting lineup, and I'm like, it's kind of weird, but I guess Critch wants to win games, right? But if that's his job. But like, he's a 36-year-old six who people were confused as to why we brought him in this year to the squad. He's not going to be on the team next year. I'm not sure he's playing. Like, he might be done.
So why is he playing at all? But like you said, because Critch is trying to maybe save his job, or there's just but you
play
to win the game
that's
kind
the
of
tug
thing.
And pull because you had Seth Antwi sit on the bench all game. I'm like, I want to see what he can do out here, and I don't care if we lose. But I like Critch is trying to win, and also like it's a rudderless ship because I don't even know who's his boss, right? Like he's trying to win, but there's no one I don't think there's anyone to even be in his ear to be like, hey, why don't we give the kids a shot? Like,
when there's no relegation, why not damn the torpedoes and go like, fuck it, let's just see. That's my point of like going like, yeah, let's just see.
Because then he won't win.
Right.
He's putting. That's what I'm saying. Is like
he's building a resume
no
for
incentive to
himself,
play the kids, even though the rest of the organization has no incentive to try and win these games without the kids. Right. Like,
it's almost like there needs to be like some sort of like ultimatum or quid pro quo, like if you do the thing, if you guide this ship to the end of the season, we're not going to hire you. Like, we'll just explicitly tell you you're not going to be our next coach because we're trying to. But if you play ball with us, we'll find a role for you within the organization. Yeah. Something where there is a carrot there to do the things we want you to do and coach this team in a way that at least makes us competitive. It's not just a complete dumpster fire out there, but you are a figurehead. You're a puppet, and we're telling you you're a puppet, and you're going to do the things that we want you to do. But if you do them well, if you're a good boy, then we'll give you a treat.
You've said quid pro quo and good boy in like the same breath, and I'm kind of into it.
You're
I will also say this: like, take Kai off the table. Who else did you want to see?
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is the other thing because we're not.
I can't believe
we're training in internal organizations. I'm almost done.
Okay,
I promise you. But like, those kids aren't good. Maybe everyone knows those kids aren't good enough. Everyone knows those kids aren't good enough, and like, at least this is a competitive team. At least Alfredo Morales will keep it close. No one wants to see 8-0. Like, that's not good for anybody either, right?
Yeah.
Trotting out 20-year-olds out there to just get smoked. Caden Glover not touch the ball for
right. I mean, there's arguably like a competitive, like that's kind of shitty too to those teams who are trying to make the playoffs. If you're trotting out just a blood donor, there's an expectation that you're at least going to try and win the game, and if you're not starting players who are obviously good enough to start, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it. But Bauer's getting antsy, so we got to stop talking about soccer.
You can cut everything else. Hartle's really good.